Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of ReCIRCLE by TexSPACE Today. So ReCIRCLE is a monthly initiative by TexSPACE Today that promotes circularity, precision, automation, and energy in the textile and apparel industry. And in ReCIRCLE by TexSPACE Today, we bring together industry professionals, technology providers, solution makers, and thought leaders to promote new technologies or ideas or practical solutions. And through this open dialogue and knowledge sharing, ReCIRCLE aims to encourage the practical solution or the real impact generating ideas or solutions in the textile and apparel industries. So in the fourth episode, we will discuss the next phase of knitting with artificial intelligence and smart manufacturing. As we all know that artificial intelligence is not a buzzword anymore, and artificial intelligence is getting integrated in almost every sector. So in the textile and apparel industry, the manufacturing sector is also getting, I would say, affected or that improved or enhanced by the AI. So if we see at the statistics, we will see that artificial intelligence in textile market was valued at around 2.4 billion in 2023 and is projected to reach nearly 21.4 billion by 2033 with a CAGR of over 24%. So we can see that there will be a great adoption or the adoption rate will increase. So in this episode of ReCIRCLE, we will discuss the impact of artificial intelligence specifically in knitting. Okay, so let me introduce my panelist. We have Engineer Muhammad Aminul Islam, Assistant General Manager, R&D Textile, Metro Dyeing and Knitting. He has over a decade of experience in knitting industries. Mr. Jaivardhan T, Director, Sales Count AI, and Mr. Labeeb Hossain, Director, Sales and Marketing, Texcorp BD. I would like to go to Mr. Jaivardhan first, that we know that AI fabric inspection system are becoming more accurate. So according to your experience, which problems or which, I would say, defects are difficult to handle with AI, or AI is having difficulty to detect those defects?
Right. Firstly, I thank the TexSPACE today and everyone in the webinar for your time and for sharing this opportunity to introduce or to talk and discuss a lot about AI and how AI can contribute more towards making our life simpler in knitting or in the textile manufacturing process. So, as Mr. Shakib rightly said, AI can detect a lot of faults, but AI also has some limitations, you could say. And these limitations are getting less day by day since the technology is also improving. At Count AI, we have been delivering AI defect system, AI monitoring, fabric defect monitoring systems for the last 4 years, you could say. In the knitting machine, we are doing an online inspection system which captures the defects inside the knitting machines. If you predominantly see, the tension of the fabric in the knitting machine is different from the tension of the fabric when you remove it outside the knitting machine. So if you see, a lot of defects or some of the defects cannot be seen when the fabric is stretched or when the tension is high. Any defect that cannot be seen in the knitting machine cannot be seen by the AI as well. The AI is a tool. AI cannot do magic, but AI can enhance what the human can do in a much larger scale. So, for example, very subtle defects with very low visual contrast or intermittent defects that only appear for just like a fraction of a second, or any defects which are hidden by the structure of the fabric. These are the things that AI cannot see at the moment.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to go to Mr. Aminul, that in the production floor, we are getting help from the humans to detect fabric defects or the faults. So how do you see that AI is replacing those humans, or how do you set limit for humans or AIs that humans will do this kind of defect or they can identify this kind of defect? And actually, how do you see the limit of AI in the production floor right now?
Thank you, Sakib. If I say that it's very initial, we are now knitting AI, little we have worked, but actually in the proto, if we think there's a proto stage or like a small project is, we have tried, but it's a huge prospect in future. If we see in the long run, AI will be a big factor for the knitting industry, I think, because lots of technical issues will be solved by this AI system. Not only the now initially we are talking about the quality system, but there will be lots of impact in the others area, like technical specification, knitting, like design, even sometimes if we think the yarn issues, sometimes we can say like many complex design that will be we can take help from the AI. But initially we are thinking about the quality system to enhance the by AI. But AI have some limitation that we have faced, because sometimes AI detect more objective, like this small problem he detect and stop the machines, sometimes impact the production. That's why I think we have to give some input to the who are developing the software or who are working with this technical persons. So I think it
So
need
you are
to
trying to say
lots
that
of
AI is not
future.
accurate in many cases. Like they
Yeah.
are raising the false alarm, or they are stopping the machine that is not actually a fault to be detected.
Actually, that's also fault. But in production case, in production sense, that is not fault actually. In that case, we can omit this, but the technology has stopped the machine.
Yeah.
It's a issue. So it will be solved, I think, in near future when this technology will be more educated, or sometimes it's like a machine learning, I think.
Yeah,
So
we need to we need
if you
to
input and
feed the
like,
data. We need to feed
yeah,
the
yeah.
data that these are not production problems. These are quality related issues, or if these production problems can be solved lately in the quality inspection table, or somewhat like this, right? Okay, thank you. So I would like to go to Mr. Labeeb. That AI is very capable, I would say, to detect patterns, or to detect actually patterns, or to predict something actually in probability. So in predictive maintenance, how do you see the prospect of AI in if you want to reduce the machine stoppage or needle related issues or repetitive quality issues that has patterns in them?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Saki. That's a very good question. So basically, the thing is, right now, how most of the factories operate in terms of maintenance is reactive maintenance.
Yeah.
It's not proactive maintenance. So basically, what that means is I go fix my machine when there's a problem.
Yeah, when there is a breakdown, right?
What we are trying to do is I want to fix my machine before there's a problem. So these two are very big distinctions right there. So in order to do that, in order to find out what problems I have before it comes up, I need all the data the machine has to offer and, bring them together and see what might go wrong in the future. So what this system we have right now, what it does is basically it takes all the data from your needles, from your sinker, from your cylinders. It's all real-time data, by the way. Let's say from your motor, from your feeder, it basically all the different points in the circular knitting machine that might be, prone to causing problems. So you take all this data. Oh, we also detect the vibration of the machine as well. So you take all of this data, you bring them together, and then with this predictive AI model, and based on the history of all the maintenance together, it can tell you that this machine is working below its standard, or it's working above its standard. So when you see that you're having this and this problem that is below your standard, like for example, the machine is supposed to run at, let's say, 36 degrees Celsius. For some reason, it's running at 40 degrees Celsius. It's not possible for a human to find out like this 4 degrees change in temperature, but this system can see it. And when the system sees, okay, it's a 4-degree increase in temperature, that means either my lubrication is defective or my motor has a lot of resistance. So this is like one example of the problems
Yeah,
that are
so
beginning.
continuous
So you
monitoring.
bring
Yeah, so the
continuous monitoring.
right.
And you bring all this together, and then it gives you a highlight of this and this machine is might have this and this problem, and so you should fix so and so issues before the machine stops.
Okay.
So this is like one of the big advantages in this industry, because right now, profit margins at the moment are very, very tight. So if my machine is down for 1 minute or 5 minutes, that means I'm losing money for 5 minutes. So my goal is to keep the machine running as smoothly and continuously as possible. So because for that, I need to find out whatever problems I have before it happens.
Before it happens. Okay, the proactive measures.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to go to Mr. Jaivardhan again, that many of the factories are still now operating on the basis of operators' experience, or they are relying on human judgment. Okay, so what do you think the technical or operational limitations, or I would say that hinders the adoption of AI or why they are not adopting AI as we are expecting to them?
Right. As Mr. Aminul Islam rightly pointed out in the previous conversation, there initially when the AI technology came into the market, there were a lot of false defects that happened, and which leads to a lot of stoppages in the machine. And like Mr. Labeeb said, we can't afford to stop the machine when the profit margins are quite tight and thin. So we need to run the machines as much as possible to reap the maximum benefits. But today this has matured, the product has been matured, I would say, at least in our experience, because AI, ML, machine learning also keeps learning. And with a lot of installations, lot of fabric patterns, the system has improved a lot. On the other hand, from the factory side, I think there has to be a shift in the way people see things. So let us say the humans are able to see 100 out of 100 defects, and let us say the AI can only see 80 of the 100 defects. First, we should at least adopt to the 80, because it is still reducing a lot of repetitive work that the humans do and repetitive errors that the humans can cause. So it is on both the sides. So the AI keeps improving, and as the AI keeps improving, it is also that the factories must adopt AI to whichever extent it is available. So any technology that comes, right from your smartphones to even the refrigerators or to anything, any technology, any new technology that comes, it improves drastically. But we have to always start adopting the technology first and then give feedback to whoever is developing the technology to improve the technology. But we have to see that if it is fulfilling that 80%, we should adopt that 80% into the factory.
Okay, so AI is still in the developing phase and it is still learning, right?
AI is always going to be in the developing phase. It's like there is always scope for improvement. It's never going to be like 100%. Like as I said, you can't expect AI to do magic.
Yeah.
AI is also like, I mean, like let's say if you're using an iPhone, or let's say if you're using Samsung or anything, these technologies or Toyota, any technology is developed for
Yeah,
like
they are
100 years
evolving,
or
right?
50 years, and
Right.
you still see your iPhones getting struck, you still see your Samsung getting struck, or you still see your Toyota cars break down. So technology will keep improving, and you can never wait for the technology to be 100% perfect. You have to start adopting them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because AI works on the data as it get fed. So if we fed it a lot of data, it will learn something new, or it will be able to detect some new faults or many other things. Okay.
Mr. Sakib, please raise your volume. I think.
Okay, so can you hear me now? I would like to go to Mr. Aminul again, that from your experience in the knitting floor, what are the root causes of the repetitive knitting faults? How AI can help these repeating knitting faults from corrective actions to preventive actions? We can prevent the fault before it happens, rather than we are doing the correction measures after it has already happened.
Actually, if I say in this regard that the false repetitive problem, before that I want to say the harsh truth actually, because we have tried. I don't want to name the company who provided us this technology, but actually the situation was like the project is now like held. I think in near future they may be they work and will be come out with the solution. Their basic problem is like, if I say that small elastin drop detect the fabrics. Sometimes in the context of production, it's not problem. Sometimes, especially in the variegated rib, variegated others design rib, there may be some automatically designed hole, like look that in the machine. That is not actually the fault, but machine detects this as a fault. Even if I say the needle drop, design is like needle drop. Machine got this point as a fault. So that time we have to stop the machine and run the machine. So technology is like at the present, but has to this that like if a company owner when invest like that technology, the profit margin, others, everything is becoming every day low. So initially, if the AI technology has not come in a stronger in context of production, in context of the output, then owner or the management, they will be got disappointed. So who are the taking this technology in our country, they should be first know if they want to launch the technology. Before that, they may continue as a proto or some project, a small or sometimes a various prototype factory. Like then if that problem solved with this everything, even they can invite, and whatever the outcome and any limitations, if we can say, then we can take the decision. limitation. But when they do marketing as like this is facilities, and in a practical sense, I already mentioned wool, even same brand, same lot yarn, when just color sense. Gray yarn has the color because the raw cotton or this is actually all time the same shade. If lot sense, even outside the cone is like deeper shade, in the inside is lighter shade. That's time also machine detect
detects it
the
as
issues
a
here
fault.
as a fault. So it's a issue. Even some limitation like line mark, there is not needle drop line mark in the fabric. Machine I cannot detect this line mark. Even sinker mark, you cannot detect the problem. So it's a very even stitch length in the every round the stitch what is the machine that also not can give accurate data. Even I think this technology has not yet was provided in the technology. So
Okay, so it is not
huge
actually
space and
mature enough.
huge system they can work, but in this context, if they get together who are the expert in the knitting, they can I think collaboration may take another stage. Otherwise it will be very difficult to convince the initial for the company owner or management system.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aminul. I would like to go to Mr. Labeeb again, that the
Sure.
limitations that Mr. Aminul have stated. What do you say about it, and that how actually mature AI is now that can be implemented in the bulk production stage, or as he is saying that we should do some prototype or some project based, or we can not solely depend on it for bulk production.
Okay, so basically what Mr. Aminul said, that's correct. But I'd also like to reflect of Mr. Jaivardhan, which is AI will always be learning. There's no maturity to AI. The more data you give it, the more it's going to learn, the more of an expert it's going to be. So there's no end to how mature any AI system can be.
Okay.
So it all depends on how, like, sort of preventative measures we put onto the systems that can help us, mitigate some of the problems that we face. Like, for example, what Mr. Aminul mentioned is like there's some things that the system takes in as a defect, but actually it's not a defect. It's part of the design. Let's say, for example, if I talk about single jersey pointel fabric. So what pointel basically means is like small holes in the design of the fabric. Okay, part of the design. But when it's going through the AI camera, the system is going to pick it up as, pinholes or like some sort of fabric holes from the design. So these are things you have to feed more data into the AI to pick it up. Or the other solution is we have a similar system for fabric inspection, which is what we do is we set a threshold of what it is going to detect and what it's not going to detect. Like, for example, if I talk about, let's say, like a plain solid color. So sometimes when you're inspecting a plain solid colored fabric, you can see there's small, like very small fabric shade deviations on the surface of the fabric. It might not be visible to the human eye, but it's visible to the AI camera. So what we say to the system is between values of 0 to 0.5, you let this go. You do not detect it. From values of 0.5 onwards, this one you can detect and you can flag it as a problem. So these are some parameters that we set in the system that can help us in the bot system. So if we have the right parameters set in the detection or AI system, then it is 100% ready for bot production.
Okay, so as you are saying that you are feeding data to the system, are
Yes.
these data based on the factories? I mean, if Mr. Aminul has some say requirements that he need to do this type of design or this type of fabric, so are
Yes.
you able to feed or train the AI model to perform on his requirements?
Yes. So basically, for very special cases, you always need some sort of a control fabric or, control input. So for example, before, like this is a very exaggerated example, but let's say you want to make pointel fabrics and you want to make pointel detection in the AI system. So first, what you're going to have to do is feed AI system like actual pointel fabric, and then it sees this fabric and then it realizes, okay, so this is what the normal fabric looks like. So anything different from this type of design means there's a problem with this fabric. So if I see holes in, let's say, in certain patterns all over the fabric, that means it's okay. It's part of the design. But if I see some holes that is not part of that specific pattern, that means it's a problem. Then that I have to stop. But what it basically needs is it needs a control substance. It needs a control fabric. So it needs to know what am I working with? What is normal and what is not normal. So if I show it the normal, then it can find the abnormal, out of the whole design.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to go to Mr. Jaivardhan that
Sir,
AI is
Sir
rapidly.
Labeeb pretty much nailed it. So AI actually recognizes the patterns of whatever fabric you give, and if there is anything off deviation from that pattern, then the AI recognizes that something is abnormal, and then it stops the fabric. And there are exceptions in which, like, we have trained in our AI. For example, there used to be a lot of false defects because, in the knitting factory, there is a lot of fluff or dust coming in. So when this coming in, there are like false positive alarms. So we are also like training the AI to not do false positives on these type of defects. So yeah, AI keeps improving that way.
Okay, so Mr. Jaivardhan, how would you like to draw the line between human judgment and AI as AI is rapidly evolving? I mean, to what extent we can solely depend on AI and to what fault detection or in which cases we need human intervention?
AI is like, let's say you feed something, or let's say you keep it like this. AI can be extremely powerful in detecting, in monitoring. Let's say you give it like a lot of data, it can analyze the data, it can predict, and it could even help you make the decision. So let's say Mr. Aminul has 100 knitting machines, and let us say he has to analyze multiple parameters, not just quality, in terms of, let's say he's using maybe 3 or 4 brands of needle. Let's say he's using the yarn from 10 different spinning mills, and he's running different types of fabrics. He has, like, let's say 20 different operators who are operating at different efficiency. And now let us say he has to make a decision. Let's say he gets an order from a prominent brand like Zara or H&M or Boss or anything. And let's say he has to run this order on he has to make the decision of running this order on a particular machine and assign it to a particular operator, right? So
Right.
this is a very important order for him, and he has to do it in the most important machine
Yeah.
or in the most important way. So when he has like so much data, AI can help him say that, boss, Mr. Aminul, please use this machine, and please use this operator, and please use this needle, and please use this yarn. This will be your most optimal for this order. And let's say he gets a bulk order in which his margins are less, but where his consistency is more. So again, AI can help him to do. So maybe he can use maybe a slightly less quality needle, just an example, but like it's a volume order. So he can use a different type of an operator. So this is going to be very helpful. But apart from this, in asking the AI that the human has to do, prioritizing what is more, what is less, what needs to be delivered first, what needs to be given a higher priority in terms of quality, all these judgments the human has to do. And the human also needs to understand what are the limitations of the AI at this particular stage, what I can rely on the AI and what I should not rely on the AI. So this is again something only the human can do. So again, AI is only a tool that can multiply your
Productivity.
knowledge or your skills.
Okay, it will help us to identify the patterns, or it can help us to give the optimal settings or the parameters, right? Okay,
Yes.
so I would like to go to Mr. Aminul again, that from a production floor perspective, how do you expect AI to help you in knitting production, or how do you see AI in upcoming 5 years to get integrated in the knitting industry? Actually,
I
what are
think
the scopes
Mr.
of
Jaivardhan has
AI?
already told some very important points. Like actually, we are talking about the faults in the machine, but it has huge impact and other sector in the other area of the knitting, because like not only the whole, there is like machine health, needle health, data, lots of analysis. Even though whose operator is operating, his performance. Even like if we say that machine RPM, which machine and brand to brand analysis, which knitting brand machine is performing better, which brand is. So it's a great impact will be in future, and that's why we need to some input, like where the making the AI design, they can closely work with us actually, because not only the exact always the input will be reward, but sometimes we need to input them fabric to fabric. If we can handle the module or software, like even we control like Jacquard machines, like different type of functional machines, we can control. When we can get the control over the AI, then we can select based on our module, based on our expectation, and we can set the parameters for the machines and other issues. So I think it will be great impact, not only knitting. I think in our dyeing, finishing, there is a huge impact will be the AI. So like for GSM controlling in finishing, their standarding, even dyeing machine to machine, we can use the AI, like best to best performance, brand to brand analyzing. So it's a huge prospect, I think. Not only the 5 years, I think 1 or 2 years it will be, because this is for this impact, the machine provider was the machine sales company. They also nowadays marketing with the AI, like in the machine. Like recently we buying some new machines from a company. They also trying to give some technologies like AI, which you can already supported from others company. Already there is linking in the hidden. I think the AI provided company with the knitting machine supplier, they can collaborate. Even we don't know who are in the behind the scenario, but it's coming. And in future, when a knitting machine we will buy with the technology like AI built in the machine.
Yeah, you
So
will. Yeah.
it will be it will not like that we are buying knitting machine. We also buy the technology AI from another company. It may be the in future a tie up with the in some branding.
The
So
machine manufacturer will provide the AI
proper
technology,
AI
and
also,
they
I
will
think, because
provide the
already
support.
it's
Yeah.
started, whatever small or big, but it already has started.
Okay, so the machine manufacturing companies
And
also
knitting manufacturing machine also give the best way, I think, because last the technology what we have used for as a prototype, there is a cameras in the lower portion of the fabric, like their fabric rolled. But new who are selling the knitting machines, they provide the camera over the, not only in the rolls area, also they set a camera over the needle. So there is lots of analyzing and lots of position they're thinking. So it's a huge impact will come.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to go to Mr. Labeeb, that how do
Yes.
you see the scope of AI in knitting? I mean, what are the working areas, or what areas should be addressed that can be solved by AI in the near future, or the features you are working on to get implemented by the AI?
Honestly speaking, any segment that is open to adjustments in the knitting sector has already been addressed. Like, for example, one of them is the fabric detection system, the fabric fault detection system. That one has already been addressed by a lot of companies. The second thing, the one that I'm working with, is machine health and production uptime and downtime. This is also being addressed by a lot of companies. Uh, the only one other thing that I can think of where not just AI, but as a whole software together that we can address is making designs in the machine with the help of softwares. It's just about, feeding the yarn and
Okay, thank you, Mr. Labib. So, dear audience, we are almost at the end of our today's webinar. So, as we have discussed that AI is actually can work as an assistant. We can take help from it, but humans need to intervene in the system. AI alone cannot detect the faults, or AI alone we cannot fully depend on AI to run our bulk productions. As Mr. Aminul have said, that AI is still struggling to detect faults, and as Mr. Jaivardhan has said, that AI is continuously learning, and it will continuously getting improved if we fed it a lot of data. Mr. Labeeb also agreed to that. Okay, so dear audience, we are ending, or we are at the end of today's webinar, and thank you to our panelists for joining today's webinar.